Some days are better than others, and today is one of the others. I slept in today, which is good because I guess I needed to rest, but it's now almost 11 o'clock and I really haven't done anything. I spent some time looking at job listings, made some more resume tweaks, but I'm just kind of lacking energy and focus. Today's a recovery day for me. I'm just gonna get outside, do some easy spinning, hopefully get the dogs for a walk, and hope that the sunshine helps kind of snap me out of this funk. I won't say getting outside is some magical cure-all, but man, it definitely does help. So like I mentioned, this is just a recovery ride. I'm out here, zero effort, about the same as walking around. I'm not sure these have any actual physiological recovery benefit, but man, they sure are good for mental health. Sometimes when I'm in the middle of a big training block and the fatigue starts to set in, I start to lose sight of why I do this. But rides like these really do help to see the big picture and really help remind me that I love being on a bike. While we're on the topic of recovery, I haven't been doing a great job in that department. Part of that is I haven't been getting the amount of sleep that I'm used to getting, but part of that is almost certainly brought on from the stress of the situation. Your nervous system recognizes all sorts of stress, from physical to psychological, emotional, and everything in between. So couple that with adding in a bunch of extra time on the bike, and it's not really surprising that my recovery isn't great. So I'm gonna start doing some things to try to help with that. If I'm gonna put this much extra energy into training, I need to also put that much focus and energy into recovery. Otherwise, the training just isn't gonna be beneficial. All right, recovery ride over and done with. Time for some coffee, lunch, and planning my day and maybe the next couple of days. Keeping it really simple for lunch today, largely because I need to go grocery shopping and I don't really have any food, but I've got some blueberries and some Bob's Red Mill muesli. Can't forget the oat milk. All right, lunch is out of the way. I want to take a minute to say a big thank you to you. Having a community like this to talk to has been really helpful for me. As much as I'm making these videos because I hope they're helpful to other people, they are really helping me. It was again really hard to get out of bed this morning, but I knew I had things to do and I know I have a story to tell. So many of you have reached out just to show your support or even show me job listings, and I cannot express the gratitude that I have. About 2 years ago, I decided to pick up journaling, and I grabbed one of these from Baron Fig. At first, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of started writing down how I was sleeping, how I was feeling, what I was eating, how my training went. And I didn't know what to expect. But I realized as I was writing down my thoughts and my feelings, getting my thoughts down on paper helped me to get them out of here and to help draw the connections between my thoughts and my feelings. Even more than that, recently I started looking back through my journal entries, and I saw some common themes, some things that were just always on my mind. And then I saw some things that I thought in the moment, from what I was writing, were really impactful and really stressful. But those things were almost always fleeting. So what I mean by that is, maybe they would be present in my journal for a day or two, but then they'd just be gone, and life continued on. And that was a really big aha moment for me. Sure, there are things in your life that are stressful and are long-term, but so many of the things that we perceive as permanent just aren't. So I can't recommend this enough. It doesn't have to be a super fancy journal or a super fancy pen, but I will say they helped me to get into the habit. Having a pen that really just feels nice in my hand, the way it glides over the page is really satisfying. I like the weight of the book. I don't know anything about paper. I'm not a stationary nerd, but my gut says if it's going to help you use it more, it's probably worth spending the money. Today, the journal is serving double duty. I'm using it to write down my thoughts and my emotions, but I'm also using it to write down a to-do list. And yeah, to-do lists are great on Apple Notes or whatever your platform of choice is, but to me, there's something more concrete about putting ink to paper.
And yeah, just all the snacks.
One of the things that made it onto my list of to-dos was to walk my dog. Partly because they're crazy and they have a lot of energy, which is why we got them. But also partly just to keep me moving. I don't do sedentary very well. And when I'm sitting around doing nothing, that's when I start to lose that battle with my thoughts and emotions. So we hike. Oh, the AirPods? Yeah, they're because I am an audiobook junkie. I listen to a lot of audiobooks from the library using the Libby app. But I'll admit, Audible is my splurge. I'll leave a link to it down below if you want to give it a try. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Brandon Sanderson. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi and fantasy, and he's just an incredible author. If you haven't read anything by Sanderson and you like fantasy, I would suggest starting with the Stormlight Archive. If fantasy isn't really your thing and you don't mind a young adult series, The Reckoners is also pretty good. All right, today was a day. Tomorrow will be another one. This started off as me trying to see how fit I could get while I was unemployed. And while that's still the case, I'm still going to try to challenge myself and see how fit I can get. Clearly this is evolving into more than that. If you're in my situation or you know someone who is, I hope this is helpful to you. And if it is, I would ask you to please consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you'll be notified when new videos are released. For more in the series, why don't you click right here? But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.